What's up? Let me fix this camera. Oh, there we go. How's that? Better? All right, welcome into your Friday afternoon Buckeye Rush Hour. I'm your host, Joe from the Buckeye Cast, bringing it to you. We're going to have Sean joining us momentarily, I believe. So he'll be hopping on, trying to keep this camera straight. Anyway, that doesn't look great. Anyway, how's everybody doing out there? How's your you getting warmed up for the holiday weekend? This camera's so bugged. Let me know what you're doing this weekend. One of those holidays where we need to remind everybody, you know, it's not just a day to go party and get wasted, you know. Think about those people that served this country, and they call it the land of the free because of the brave, and everybody that has served in the military really appreciates you. Most of my family, uncles, my dad, grandparents, all served. So think about them today, and those that paid the ultimate sacrifice. So happy Memorial Day weekend. Let's get the party started. We're talking college football. SP Plus rankings came out last week. They were updated after the all the transfer windows closed up, and so it's the one thing that I will tell you that is a good quality piece of material from that 4-letter network. Everything else is garbage, unless you're watching a football game on their network on Saturdays. The rest of the network, you know what I'm talking about, excuse me, sucks. So let's see what's happening out there. Please hop in the chat. You guys drive this show with your questions and comments. I got a little shot of Eagle Rare. Get the weekend started a little early. What could be more American than Eagle Rare? Yeah. So let's see. Let's see if Sean's going to hop on. Maybe not. So let's talk about it. What's up, Billy? Welcome in. Okay. So S&P Plus is a kind of like a power ranking system by Bill Connolly of that 4-letter network. He updated it about a week ago. Projections are based on 3 different factors. Okay. Number 1 is returning production. How many, you know, as your roster turns over, this includes transfers, recruiting. So returning production. So they use last year's S&P Plus and ratings and adjust that. Then recent recruiting. So, you know, who's added to your team, and then recent history, like from previous seasons. So like 2 to 4 years ago gives you an idea of the overall health of the program. So again, these are just basically like power rankings with all of the roster changes and everything included. So let me read down the top 10 to you. We have Georgia number 1, Ohio State number 2, Michigan number 3, Alabama 4, LSU 5, Tennessee 6, USC 7, Penn State 8, Texas 9, Florida State 10. That's your top 10. And then I wanted to get into Ohio State's schedule and where those guys rank week by week. So we'll go through the entire 12-game schedule. I started doing Michigan's schedule, and the first 3 teams were in the hundreds in the S&P Plus. So I stopped because it was going to be a waste of time. I'll do it eventually just for comparison's sake. But the first 3 teams, you know, it was East Carolina, UNLV, and Bowling Green. They're all like down here in the freaking, what are they? 100 a 125's BG, ECU, is in there. So yeah, I stopped doing that. I didn't feel like wasting my life. So anyways, we've got week 1, Indiana. They're ranked 71 in the country in the S&P plus. Week 2, Western Kentucky, they're ranked 84th. Then week 3, you got Notre Dame. Oh, I'm sorry. Youngstown State's not a Division I team, so we can't count them. So scratch that. Notre Dame's actually week 4. So they're 15th. So a real opponent. Maryland's 40, Purdue 48, Penn State 8. You heard me rattle them off in the top 10. That's a legit team with a lot of returning production. Let me see. Penn State had 37%, 37.5% on offense returning. So that's 22nd in the country. But on defense, they got 14% or 14 S&P plus. That's 6th in the country. So defensive side of the ball is heavily weighted in Penn State's favor there. Wisconsin, surprisingly, is a 19. That's going to be a tough freaking game, man. They really use that portal. Then Rutgers is a 73. No surprise there. Michigan State, 42. I didn't expect them to be that high. And then Minnesota is a 31. And Michigan, I mentioned earlier, is a 3. So you got 2 top teners there with Penn State and Michigan. Then you got Notre Dame at 15. I wanted to check them out. Yeah, Notre Dame they're ranked 26th in offensive returning production. Their offensive S&P, and then 15th in defense S&P. So that's a real team. That's going to be a real challenge. What's happening here in the chat? Oh, badass Buckeye. What's up? Badass Buckeye. Bab. Billy says the Athlon preview has Bama, UGA, Michigan, and USC in the playoffs. Yeah, I love it when they forget about Ohio State in these preseason magazines.
I like it that way. This badass Buckeye just joined you, Joe.
You're badass Buckeye?
That's right. I'm one of them. That's better for us. I always feel that we fare better when we're a little bit underrated and a little bit hungry. When we come in, I feel like the last few years we've had, 1 or 2 of the SP plus ratings or whatever they are, and it doesn't come to fruition. So I'm happy with them saying that, but what the hell makes them think that USC is going to be there all of a sudden?
Yeah, I think the USC thing is returning production on offense. They're 75% on offense, returning production, 78 on defense. Wow. Okay. That doesn't make sense to me because their offense is 32nd in the country in returning production. Defense is 15th. And their SP plus offense is 1st in the country. SP plus defense is 39th.
So that is taking into account returning production, recruiting class, and just how they've been faring the last couple of years.
Yeah. It's amazing what a good quarterback will do for you, right?
Well, not only that, but I think they get a bump from their coach, being the offensive guy with the Heisman quarterbacks. And
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I started off the show. I have a shot of Eagle Rare to start this holiday weekend.
Nice.
What's more American? Maybe Jefferson Reserve. But so quickly before we get rolling a little bit further, I wanted to tell everybody we will be here Sunday night And we will have the rush hour Monday morning. And of course, every day you'll still have your daily blitzes over the weekend. So no shortage of content coming your way. And keep your eyes out for another Buckeyes and Bikinis episode. Did you check that out, Sean?
I missed that. I need to see that. I mean,
You
I'm hoping that it's like good looking girls in bikinis and not actual Ohio State Buckeye football players in bikinis, because
Well,
that,
yeah, you
I
got to
might have
tune
to
in to find
cancel that.
out.
I'll cancel that contract.
Yeah, so we appreciate everybody that's supporting the show. It's very helpful, keeps us alive and ticking. So yeah, back to the SP Plus. I ran through the Ohio State schedule. So we've got 2 top 10 teams in Michigan and Penn State. Notre Dame's a 15. And I was surprised Wisconsin was a 19. Do you believe that, Henry?
I mean, yeah, I do. I mean, where else is Wisconsin going to be? There's not like there's 20 teams better than Wisconsin. Wisconsin's just one of those teams that's going to be the higher end of that middle tier. They're going to play you tough every single time. No, I think that's appropriate. I mean, where do you think Wisconsin finishes the season? I'm guessing, in the teens somewhere, 13 to 17.
I guess I was surprised because of the turnover and the change in coaching staff and everything. I know they brought in transfers and a ton of dudes, and they brought in a good offensive coordinator. Obviously, Fickle runs a tight ship on defense, but I thought they would be a little lower, honestly.
But who are you going to put in front of them? Colorado. There's not that many teams. That's the thing about college football. Once you get to 20, there's not much left.
Well, but there's a lot of quality teams, a lot of SEC teams actually behind them. Even TCU. You got Florida at 21, Kentucky 22, Mississippi State 25. I know none of those teams are super impressive, but Florida is supposed to be on the comeback. Arkansas 26, Auburn 27. They're supposed to be. They hit the portal hard. Got a new coach.
I would put those teams in a conversation to say, hey, is Wisconsin better than these guys? And maybe they're not. The problem is Wisconsin's schedule on that side of the Big Ten just is set up for success. And those SEC teams, I mean, they can be a really good team and have 4 losses. And that's just the nature of the beast down there. Right. So I'm wondering if that goes into part of this, because Wisconsin can be a mediocre team and have 2 losses.
Yeah, and still make it to the Big Ten championship game, as we've seen.
Right.
Yeah. Billy brought up an interesting comment in the chat that the Athlon Preview magazine has Bama, Georgia, Michigan, and USC in the playoffs. And yeah, so
I heard that right when I chimed in. I mean, I guess I really don't know all the USC love. I do think they're up and comers, and maybe they're there. I just haven't seen it yet. But I mean, the other schools, I mean, how much thought really went into the Athlon thing? Okay, we got Georgia again. We got Alabama. Michigan's been there the last 2 years. Maybe the only thing I take from that is you're snubbing Ohio State a little bit, which again, I get, and I don't hate. I feel like we almost do better snubbed.
Oh yeah, I have no problem with it whatsoever.
I mean, at least Herb did. Herb as an underdog was just ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
I forget what those stats were, but they were impressive.
Yeah, Ohio State all time as an underdog is definitely a good bet. I mean, I jumped all over that shit. So, especially back in 2014, made a nice little kick.
I just love it because none of these rankings ever mattered to Michigan ever until the last 2 years, and now they'll mean the world to them. So beating them in this environment will be that much sweeter.
Yeah, I had the average of our schedule. So to kind of give you an idea of our strength of schedule, the average for all 11 games, I can't count Youngstown State because they're not a Division I team. So they're not in the SP plus rankings. So 11 games, we have an average of 36.6 SP plus. So that's respectable in my opinion. Then I started tallying up Michigan's rankings on their schedule. You can imagine with ECU, UNLV, BGSU, MOUSC, they were all well over 100. So I stopped wasting my time. It's bad.
Oh, they haven't come out with the official preseason strength of schedule ratings as of yet.
I haven't seen anything. Usually Phil Steele does a really good one, and I think his magazine will be out in June. Most of the other ones, PFF and those guys will be out in June. But yeah, I assume Michigan's is going to be like, 75th in the country in SP, it's going to be bad. So they don't play anybody tough except for us and Penn State. You got ECU, UNLV, Bowling Green, Rutgers, Nebraska, Minnesota, Indiana, Michigan State, Purdue, Penn State, Maryland, Ohio State.
I've been predicting it for like 5 years, and one of these years I'm going to be right. Minnesota's going to be decent and beat Michigan.
Yeah. Let's see where
They're still rolling. They're still rowing down there.
Oh yeah, they are. They're 31. So not bad.
My son was telling me, I don't know if that was last year or the year before. It was hilarious. Remember when Minnesota had that giant O-line, and Minnesota Gophers offensive line was older than the Minnesota Vikings offensive line. They had a bunch of super 5-6 year seniors, a bunch of 350-pound dudes. I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah. And they had Ibrahim.
Right.
That was
that 400-pounder at tackle.
Yeah, he was like Dewan, bigger than Dewan.
Yeah. Right.
But that's wide open, and I feel like Fleck's going to catch a year here one of these years and have something special. I don't know special on a national stage, but special and whip through that side of the Big Ten.
Yeah, see, I thought he had it the last couple of years, with the receiver, the running back. He had the receiver, running back, and quarterback all coming back. They were pretty loaded, and he just couldn't do anything with it. Ibrahim had the injury against us.
Ibrahim killed him. Their quarterback plays mediocre at best.
Right. Which negates your wide receiver. If your quarterback
when Ibrahim went down, that was it. Especially over there when there's a lot of man ball over there with Wisconsin, Iowa.
Yeah, Illinois. But Illinois, by the way, is 44th. Where's Nebraska? I just saw them. Nebraska's 49th. Billy had a note in the chat about Illinois improving and Nebraska and Minnesota getting their act together. Be interesting to see. Not that I want to make this a Big Ten West episode. Click. Also, you got Purdue. Purdue has a coaching change, So what do they do? Badass Buckeye says do away with divisions so teams with 2 or 3 losses can get in. Yeah, I think they're going to do away with divisions after this season. So going into 2024 is when you're going to see a lot of change in college football.
I agree, especially expanding the playoffs. Divisions need to go away. It just makes sense with the way the game and the conferences and that are all setting up, because you're basically going to have two conferences that are far superior than anything else. And probably most years, 3 to 4 teams from those conferences are going to get in.
Yeah. Billy brings up the point, that where the debate goes for divisions, he doesn't want to have to play Michigan again in the championship game. You don't know.
We'll see. Well,
Don't
hey,
know.
Joe, sorry, I got to run here on the
All
quick
right.
broadcast. Glad I could get in.
All right.
Fuck Michigan, and I'm gonna go watch some playoff soccer.
Oh,
High school.
Good luck.
All right, peace.
All right. Talk
Go
to you.
Bucks.
See you Sunday. Yep. Go Bucks. All right, folks, we'll continue on here. I'm going till 5:00. Yeah, I know I don't want to play Michigan back-to-back weeks either. I wonder how often that would happen. I mean, it's hard to say, really. I could see a lot of tiebreaker scenarios, especially for that second place team. So say you got your let's just say Iowa, for example. They go undefeated in conference. Michigan goes undefeated in conference, but loses to Ohio State last week of the season. So then you got, oh man, I guess that works. Or what if Iowa has one loss? Michigan has one loss. Where's that tiebreaker go? Does it go to the rankings, like the polls, or does it go to like the CFP polls? Where does it go to break that tie? Purdue or Iowa wouldn't be a top-notch team to test us. No, not at all. That would not be that's the thing with the divisions right now. There's nobody in the West to test us, Michigan, or Penn State. When's the last time somebody from the West won? I don't even know. So off the top of my head, but did it happen like once? Maybe once. But yeah, I agree though. I think I don't see a reason they keep divisions, especially with the wacky fucking geographic alignment we have now. You got two teams coming in from the West Coast. Who knows, by the time that rolls around, you could have two more with Oregon and Washington, or four more if you want to throw in Cal and Stanford. So there's no way you could really say, you guys are part of the West, then how does the East balance that out? So we'll see what happens there. Got to take a quick shot. Smooth as silk. So what else is happening out there? Did you guys see that Gene Smith backed this proposal, this bill in Congress that about NIL? Gene's given his full endorsement. See how that goes. I'm really shocked that the government is getting involved, right? Like so quickly. I thought this was something that would be on the back burner for years. It's stupid. But what else is on your minds? Anything good going on this weekend? You guys traveling or anything? Having a cookout? I think I'm gonna hunker down. Got everybody's coming to the beach this weekend, so I will be staying indoors for the most part. Maybe go out to the pool, but yeah, it's gonna get crazy. What else did I have on tap? Oh, coming up, like I mentioned, we're gonna have another Buckeyes in bikinis coming up. What do we have on tomorrow's Daily Blitz? That is the 27th. Oh, we're ranking the wide receivers 1 through 11. Today was ranking the running backs. We'll take a little break on Sunday, on Sunday. Sunday, we'll do some more recruiting updates. We've got some news and notes about the class of 25. We might be taking 2 quarterbacks in the class of 25. That's going to get interesting. Billy's hanging with the family. Sounds like a good deal. So yeah, more recruiting updates on Sunday. Buckeyes are making, everybody's announcing their top 5, top 6, top 10s, whatever. Buckeyes are in it. The amazing thing is that state of Ohio has some serious in-state quarterback talent for the first time in a long time. You got this 3-star, this is all 2025 guys. The 3-star, Tavian St. Clair, he's from Bellefontaine, Ohio, kind of northwest of Columbus. 6'3", 210. He put on like 25 pounds of muscle over the last year. Currently, he's just a 3-star, but he's going to get a ratings boost for sure. Then you got Ryan Montgomery, from Findlay, Luke Montgomery's brother. He was offered more than a year ago by Ryan Day. Then you got Jameson Kitna. I believe that he's at Lakota East. His dad's the coach, John Kitna. So he's got, NFL coaching from his dad, obviously. And then he's got, the genes. So, but you got to prioritize the number 1 ranked quarterback in the class right now, Bryce Underwood from up in Belleville, Michigan. So outside of Detroit, he's your number 1 priority. So that's going to get interesting. Yeah, Billy, I saw the Heartline interview. It was basically a paid or a free commercial for the foundation, right? Or the O Foundation, whatever they're calling it nowadays. Because Bucknuts and 24/7 Sports is in, working together with the foundation. So, yeah, not a lot of insight there from that interview. Heartline doesn't say a lot that's, shocking or unusual. You kind of know what he's going to say, How did you guys take that interview? Did you guys get anything that was really useful out of that? I thought he was just doing it to support the foundation, Heartline's not going to do a lot of media at all. Yeah. Yeah, he had some stories he didn't want to get into, right, about recruiting and NIL and stuff. And you could tell he was a little frustrated with some of the visits and stuff like that. But that's just from my point of view. Yeah. I don't foresee anything changing with Jeremiah Smith specifically. If Brian Hartline's there after the season, like say December, if Brian Hartline is still there, Ryan Day is still there, Jeremiah Smith is a Buckeye, no doubt about it. So yeah, I'm not too worried. And I don't know who, I can't imagine a wide receiver flipping from Ohio State to another program. I mean, Brian Hartline is training you for the NFL. You just have to be patient for 3 years, I don't even know. A lot of guys don't even need to be there 4 years. If you're going to put in the work and really work hard for 3, you could be 3 and done, man. So yeah, I don't foresee Hartline ever losing a 5-star flip. You could see a scenario where guys transfer out, like JMO, like the Caleb's this year. It's just because they got recruited over. It's going to happen. So anyway, 5 o'clock. It is 5 o'clock somewhere, right? Cheers. So hope you guys have an awesome weekend. Be safe, be merry, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. I'll see you Sunday morning. I'll see you Sunday night. And then Monday morning, we'll be right back here, and rush hour on Monday. So, all right. Appreciate you guys. I'll talk to you later. Go Bucks.